we get so many comments on a daily basis of like, you're wasting your time. There's never going to be a cure. It's so money driven. It's just not going to happen.
Touched by Type 1 invited us to go down to Miami with them to go to the Diabetes Research Institute. Going in there, seeing what they're doing blew my mind.
If you work with us or if you see us the day after we had a horrible night of sleep because of type 1 diabetes, it almost looks like we went out and partied all night long.
Well, I mean, we had that situation last week with my birthday where people asked, like, hey, let's go grab a drink with the guys. And I'm like, guys, I'm just too tired. Like, that's the reality of our life and what people with type 1 diabetes and their parents go through, their caregivers.
Hey Palmr fam, I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Nick.
And welcome back to another episode of The Urgent Lows, where we talk about lifestyle and type 1 diabetes.
Here we believe in embracing self-care through life's challenges.
Welcome back to another solo episode. I'm kind of excited to catch up. It's been a minute since we've had a solo one.
We've had some incredible guests recently, and it's been amazing. But I do miss just me and you having a chat.
Yes. So let's get into it. So let's catch up a little bit on what's been going on, what we've been doing, and maybe talk about some of our previous episodes and their guests. What would you say is your favorite episode we've done so far? There's so many. It's hard.
It is really hard because we've had some amazing guests on the podcast recently that all bring something different. Yeah. So I don't know if I can really pick out one in particular, but like learning all the nutritional stuff from Trevor was like really awesome and mind-blowing to me.
Mm-hmm. I think talking to the Shaw sisters and Michelle was just the most amazing episode ever. Like you said, we've had so many good ones, but really like talking to the family and getting to know their stories and being able to like relate to so many stories, because both sisters have type 1 diabetes, so it's very similar to our situation. And I just really think like seeing, you know, Bella, who's about to graduate high school, and then her sister, Alessandra, that's older, that has already gone through college. It's just amazing to see like how much they haven't let type 1 diabetes stop them from living their best life and how much they've just thrived with it.
You're right, man. It really is. And we have so many other great, amazing guests lined up here in the future. But hearing people's story and knowing how to resonate with them because we get what they're going through, but also hearing it from the other side, from the people who work in this industry, who help us, the nurses, the doctors, all that type of stuff, how they have dealt with it and helped our community has also been truly amazing.
Yeah.
Since our last solo episode, we got to do something absolutely phenomenal, blew our mind away, which is Touched by Type 1 invited us to go down to Miami with them to go to the Diabetes Research Institute. Going in there, meeting the scientists, the researchers, everybody who is working on a cure for type 1 diabetes, seeing what they're doing blew my mind.
Yeah, I think my biggest takeaway from that visit, I mean, it was just so like insane of an experience, like once in a lifetime experience, I feel like, that we got through the Touched by Type 1 family, which we're so honored that they brought us along. But I really think it was so fascinating to me to see how much everyone that works there and is a part of the Diabetes Research Institute family has some sort of connection to type 1 diabetes. If it's related to them personally or someone in their family or know of somebody that's been affected by it through the years. It was just so amazing to see the emotions that they had and that they bring into their work every day to find that cure for type 1 diabetes. I mean, one of the researchers, I think she was a scientist, like hearing her story, she's a type 1 diabetic mom. And first of all, when we like came and entered her room, she kind of asked everybody that was there, like, raise your hand if you personally have type 1 diabetes, or raise your hand if you're a parent of someone that has type 1 diabetes. And she literally started to tear up, like talking to us, hearing our stories, like hearing how many type 1 parents were there because she's also a fellow type 1 diabetic parent. Her daughter has type 1. And just hearing everything she has worked for and everything she has put into finding this cure, and how she actually got really close to finding the cure and then it didn't end up working out. And basically the way that their process works is once they figure out that something doesn't work, they completely leave it and it's done and they move on to something else. So that's like so fascinating, because can you imagine all the years working on this one project and then it's like this one thing doesn't work in it and it's like, okay, it's done. Your work here is done. Like, pick up, you're starting all over now. But she shared stories about how she would sleep on her office floor, and while her little baby was like young, was an infant, she would sleep because she wanted to find this cure so badly. And she's still on that mission, which was incredible hearing her story.
Yeah, one of my big takeaways as well is that what really goes into it, because everyone there is approaching it from a different angle.
Yeah.
And they all work together, but they're kind of going about it at different ways. But also, they really kind of explain, like, what is their challenge that they're going through? Why can't they just do this thing because it's going to attack the body? Because it's a unnatural cell in it or whatever, right? And it was like really cool hearing them. And so really understanding what their challenge truly is at the end of the day and what they're going through, and also how close they're getting. Because there was at least 2 people we talked to who feel very strongly and good about where they're at in the process right now, with very strong like first results coming out. And they have to go through like human testing right now, but everything seems very promising, and to hear how excited they are that we are getting closer and closer every day.
Yeah. And I think we also got to share some of our experience personally since we've started Palmr and this platform and our brand and everything. We have gotten a lot of hate message, and we have definitely talked about it here before. If you haven't tuned in, those are some funny episodes. You must tune into those. But just kind of explaining to them of like, we get so many comments on a daily basis of like, you're wasting your time. There's never going to be a cure. Nobody ever wants there to be a cure. It's just, you're never going to see it. It's not going to happen. It's so money driven. It's just not going to happen, which I respect whatever opinion you want to have, right? But for us, we have always taken the stance of, we are doing this for our kids, our 2 kids that have type 1 diabetes. That's why Palmr is even here to begin with, because of our 2 kids with type 1 diabetes. And we wanted to bring them garments that work with them and make them feel good about themselves with having type 1 diabetes. So we are not going to go up to our kids, and we have said this before, and be like, hey, by the way, there's probably not going to be a cure in your lifetime. Like, we're just not going to do it. But what we are going to do is we are going to do a lot of research. We are going to be in these rooms with these scientists and these researchers and really figure out what is going on and what they are doing to find this cure, than just watching the TV or reading a magazine of something going on and how it's just big pharma out there and it's just all money driven.
Exactly. And that's the big takeaway, right? Because talking to the people there and seeing what they're truly going through and the dedication and their personal experiences, this is not about big pharma. Like, they're determined to get that cure and find it. It is not about the money. It is not about anything else. It's not about the fame. Mm-hmm. They're determined because it affects their life personally.
Yeah.
And for everyone out there who's saying there's never going to be a cure, I will say this right now, and I feel very confident saying it. There will be a cure at some point in my kid's lifetime. That doesn't mean it's going to be tomorrow. And even one of the ladies was saying she feels really good about where she's at right now in her project. But even with that, we're probably still 5 to 10 years out before they officially have a cure, because of all the testing, everything that has to go into it before they make it official and roll it out to the masses.
Yeah, and I love that being like honest and upfront and not like making it all sugar-coated and pretty with a bow on top. It's like, no, we're being honest. We're working day in and day out, but it's still going to be some time if this works for it to be out there for everyone. But yes, I totally concur what you just said. We keep the faith for our kids, and we also keep the faith for like our sanity. It's like if you sit there, and in our case, we have 2 kids with type 1 diabetes, we can really sit there and go down a downward spiral about how hard life is with type 1 diabetes and how hard it is to be their parent, and just think of all the negative things. What's that going to do for us? Like literally, I just got a message yesterday on our Instagram, and it's like, we have to laugh because if not, we would cry, and it's better to laugh and like find the humor and find the lightness out of the situation, which is a game changer.
Could not agree more. And because of that, we're actually working on a brand new project. As you're watching this, it's already out because at the time of us recording this episode, we've released 4 episodes. We are calling it our day series, basically. But we are making a big focus on this series and even our Instagram content in general about day in the life of having type 1 diabetes, and us, more importantly, being a family with type 1 diabetes. Because as you said, we can only laugh at it. And we want to share our parts of our life, mostly the bad, some of the good, but more importantly, we want you guys to just laugh at us and be like, OMG, I know exactly what they're going through because I've gone through that exact situation. We want to talk about the good, the bad, the highs, and the lows.
Yeah. So I just pulled up our Instagram, and I want to talk about the day 4. So it's the latest one that we did, and it was titled, so day 4 of a T1D family starting a resort wear brand, another night of no sleep. And it's talking about that T1D hangover that no one talks about. So what we mean by this is, if you work with us or if you see us the day after we had a horrible night of sleep because of type 1 diabetes, it almost looks like we went out and partied all night long, got no rest, are not hydrated, looking like a hot mess, our brain's like functioning at like half capacity. And to the masses, they think, oh, they must have gone out last night. They must have had a fun night. They must have stayed up too late. They must have done X, Y, and Z. In reality, it's no. We probably all went to bed at a decent time, but the diabetes gods or whatever, I don't even know if I want to call them T1D gods, but had a different plan for us. And with us having 2 kids, that's times 2. It's the potential of a low or a high or a rough night is times 2 for us, because there are those nights where it just so happens that both of them have the worst night possible, and it's just off and on, off and on. So we really went in on this like 30-second clip of like relating of like, what's it like to have an alarm go off at like 11 o'clock at night, and then having another alarm go off at like, let's say midnight. And then now at 2 a.m., Parker's now going high. And then at like 3 a.m., Evie has a compression low. So it's like all these different things that go into it. And basically we wrote, like, if you know, you know. This is for every parent showing up tired but determined you're not alone. And that is really what we wanted. That was really the meaning behind this video. Like, yes, it's funny. We're doing, like, crazy stuff. We have, like, an eye mask on. Like, I'm sleeping on my couch at work. Like, so is Nick. But we really wanted people to feel like, wow, OMG, like I've gone through this as a parent of a type 1 diabetic kid. And I try to explain it to other people who may not have a kid with type 1 diabetes, and they have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, they can kind of relate to it of like, maybe if you had a night out and you didn't get much sleep, but there is no way you can really explain it unless you live it and you go through it.
Yeah. And what's even funnier about that clip is, well, that clip was obviously a skit. We've had nights exactly like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's not too far-fetched.
Yeah.
And what's funny is we filmed all those scenes right before bed. All of us went to bed. We filmed it. Then we go to bed. That night, Evie had a compression low. So that scene in the skit actually truly happened that night.
Yeah. And then another thing to add to when we filmed this, and I've mentioned it on other episodes, We are currently not living in our house because our house is under renovation. We thought this was going to be a 1 month little, like, you're just going to move out for a little bit so the dust doesn't take over, and then you'll be back in a month and all be good. No. It is now. We're going on month 4. Actually, 5. Are we in 5 now? Because it was in January.
4. Yeah, we're on 4. But
so we moved in like mid-January and with my parents, and bless their heart, they've been amazing. My mom cooks for us every day. I mean, it's great, but it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house. So when we have the kids, 50% of the time, it is 4 people using the same bathroom. And then we have 2 larger dogs. So it's all of us all in this quaint little house, and that's where we filmed it. Like, the reality is, like, our life right now is super chaotic because we're not in our environment. Our sleep is off just because we don't have our regular things around us. And, our house is not far away from my parents, but it's still that, like, not being in your environment and, like, not sleeping in your bed. And the kids are not sleeping in their beds. And it's just a lot, to say the least. I'm overwhelming myself talking about it. And hopefully, please say a prayer for us. We are 2 weeks out. Please, to moving back in. So we have that to look forward to. But it's like the reality of any little thing that like shifts your schedule or your routine a little bit with type 1 diabetes is like a huge wave that goes over, and you got to handle it.
Yes. So super excited about this series. All the things we're going to do. Some will be a part of the series, some will not. We have some great ideas.
Yes, I'm so excited.
Some that we're going to probably be filming some this weekend. So maybe when this comes out, they'll be out. But like, we got some great ideas. We just want to have fun. And hopefully you guys love it. You'll keep watching. More importantly, we want you to share it with everybody you know.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all about. Laugh at us.
I just want to read some of the comments because I feel like the comments have been like so special to go through. So we got a hell to the yeah from me. And then we got currently viewing this in 3 a.m. pump change zombie mode. Like, OMG. Like, the day that we posted this, mom wrote that. And yeah. So then we have, I've seen that look before from Threadbird, which is our office. And definitely a lot of people here have seen us walk in like, whoa, what happened to them last night? Someone else wrote, so happy to have other parents that understand. Someone else wrote, thank you. One of the hardest part of the T1D life. Some days are nearly impossible due to exhaustion. And I just want to hone in on that. That is the truest statement I have ever heard. And I've talked about it. I like my sleep. My life before being a stepmom to type 1 diabetes involved me living on my own and being able to sleep whenever I wanted to. It's like a shock to the system. Like, Michelle, the mom of the Shaw sisters that came in and talked to us, she said it perfectly. You never get out of the newborn stage. And for me, I've never been through the newborn stage. And for me, I wasn't there for the first time that both kids got diagnosed. So it was like 2 diagnoses at once for me, all at once. And it's just, you can't even explain that exhaustion, but you have to go on. There's still school the next day. There is still work that has to be done the next day. You still have to pick up the kids from school. In our case, I got to make them dinner. Like, we got to eat. Like, we got to function. Like, we got to do homework. Like, your day still happens. Like, the morning still comes and you're still expected to be functioning like a normal human being, but you're not because you're running off like 2 hours of sleep.
Yes.
Oh, and then another one. Yup, last night a vacation, and as if I wasn't anxious enough, multiple alarms lead to no sleep and a long travel day ahead. We've also gotten so many like, so true. You are superheroes, which we think everyone is just in this world superheroes. I did get one yesterday, and it was somebody that, I don't know if I can find it, but it was a parent, I think it was a mom, and she had her child during the 90s when her child was growing up that had type 1 diabetes. And she's like, I don't even know how we did it because it would take like 30 minutes before you would get like accurate numbers of where they actually were, something along those lines. But it's like we complain about the technology, but we are so lucky to have the technology we have.
100%.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to touch on with this, and I know you kind of brought it up a little bit, but well, one, the point of this series is to have people who are in our same situation resonate with us, laugh at us. But we also want to help make friends, family, outsiders who are part of our lives or follow Palmr because of the clothing, understand what it's like to be a T1D family.
Yeah.
Because you can hear the stories, but it does until you, like you said, you live it, you don't understand. And maybe by doing some of these skits, people will see it in a different way and have a new respect and understanding for what all these parents are going through.
Yeah. And I know that actually just you saying that reminded me. I know we got motivated to do this specific one because it was your birthday. It was like there was a week that it was like our wedding anniversary, and then it was your birthday shortly after. And it was like so many things all in the mix. And, you know, these should be things that we're celebrating. We're going out. Maybe we're having a nice dinner. We're going to drinks, whatever the case may be. And I remember there was a point where you got asked to go have drinks with a few guy friends and like family members, and we had woken up at 5 a.m. that day because we had a pop-up event, and you were just like, I can't tonight. And it's like a Saturday night, like what guy would be like, no, sorry, I can't, like I need to go home and go to sleep. And I felt myself, like, I know that Nick is past this, like I definitely think you're past having to explain yourself. But I definitely am not, and I still feel like I'm in the mode of being like, I want to explain why Nick is so tired. I want to explain why we're so tired. I want to explain how it's not so easy to just get up and go get a drink for a few hours at the bar. Like, there are reasons why we don't seem very fun right now. And that bothers me for people to think I'm not fun. And I don't know, like, I need to go to therapy for this, but man.
Well, I mean, we had that situation last week with my birthday where people asked, like, hey, can I go out? Let's go grab a drink with the guys. And I kind of turned them down. And I'm like, guys, I'm just too tired. Like, I'm exhausted. I haven't had sleep. Like, I want to do this. Tonight's just not the night.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, I don't care what anybody thinks. I'm not trying to be rude. It's just like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
And for you, you're like, no, like you need to, no, I'm like, I don't care. I'm not trying to make people happy at the end of the day, but like, I also get where you're coming from in that situation. But yes, that's the reality of our life and what people with type 1 diabetes and their parents go through, their caregivers.
Yeah, for sure. So with that all being said, we are actually treating ourselves to some fun this weekend, and I've never been so excited. Like, you would think like we were going on our honeymoon or something. I am so excited to get away. We are doing a staycation here in Orlando, and just for a few days. It's just for the weekend, but I'm just so excited. Like, I've been giddy all week about it, and we are actually, after we wrap up this episode, we're gonna head there, and we're going to have us time, and we don't have the kids this weekend, and we're just going to really take time to like reconnect because yes, we work together every single day. We live together. We basically do everything in life together, but that is not the same as spending quality time together, and we need some quality time together.
Amen.
Yes.
Let's make this happen. I'm so excited.
Yay.
So before we wrap this up, we just want to share a little bit of other news, what's going on. We have been heavy at work developing new products.
Yes.
There's a few new things that are getting ready to come out in the store, probably be there by the time this episode comes out.
And if you're a follower of us on Instagram, we're pulling a little Taylor Swift, and we have been dropping little hints here and there. So if you've seen like pictures with something maybe that you like of us wearing, it may be because it's coming on the website soon.
It is.
Yeah.
We are in heavy R&D right now, developing great diabetes-friendly products that we haven't been done before. We're ready to kind of start rolling things out. We're working with the factory, so we're really hoping to bring those to the market very soon, but I'm very excited. We've been getting a lot of great feedback from people.
Yeah, so excited for what's to come next. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get hit the road and go on this staycation. So it was fun tuning in with you guys. See you at the next one. Bye, Palmer fam.
Bye.